Hi, I'm Hosanna Rodriguez, and welcome to the Beatrix Potter Teatime Book Club. Last week's story was the tale of Mrs. Tiggywinkle. All of Mrs. Tiggywinkle's friends were obliged to her. They were so thankful that she helped them keep everything looking so good. She washed their clothes, and she took the stains out. She starched them, line-dried them, and ironed them. So what we did for our activity was we had a washing day. The kids put their hands in soapy water. They hung up all the clothes to dry, and we also did a craft in their notebooks. And here's one that Christina did. She took little fabric scraps from around the house, actually from her sewing materials, and she cut out a little dress and socks, a hat, and little gloves. She put a little scene here, and she's going to put a poem, and she'll write it here under the clothesline. For our live YouTube session this week, we had a giveaway, and whoever sends in the first poem on their washing day scene gets a free Mrs. Tiggywinkle watercolor that was made by my son Jaden when he was 10. So the first one to get their poem in to share with us gets that free watercolor that you can frame or do whatever you'd like with. This week is week 4 of our book club, and we read The Tale of Jemima Puddle Duck. There are a lot of words in there that will be new for some kids and which will be perfect to add to the notebooks. Alliteration is the repetition of letters in words near each other. They draw attention to a sentence. Alliteration can also add a mood to a poem or a story. So here's an example of a poem called Jabberwocky, written by Lewis Carroll many years ago. This is a nonsensical poem for the most part. A lot of the words are just made up. But the repetition of certain sounds, certain letters, such as B, J, CH, TCH, so B, J, Ch, all add harsh, jarring sounds. They create an uncomfortable and a chilling effect. Even though a lot of the words have no meaning, they're essentially nonsense, there's meaning that's conveyed through the sounds, and you almost hear and feel this Jabberwocky stomping and snorting to meet its death. If you want to hear Jabberwocky recited by Neil Gaiman, ask your parents to go to YouTube and type in Jabberwocky by Neil Gaiman, and you will hear him recite the poem as he walks through the crunchy snow with woods behind him. I've also asked my son Christopher to recite the poem for you. Jabberwocky, written by Lewis Carroll, performed by Christopher Rodriguez.
This is the poem Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wave. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the moan rats outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird, and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the manxome foe he sought. So rested he by a tumtum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock, with eyes aflame, came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through, the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with his head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. Oh, frab to stay, calloo, callay, he chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toads did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the moan rats outgrabe.
Good job, Christopher! Thank you! Now, did you hear those sounds? The jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Those are all sounds that are rough, perfect for Jabberwocky. Now, the fun facts about ducks. I'm pulling this from the Beatrix Potter Book Club organizer. Baby ducks are called ducklings. Most people know that. But do you know what a male duck is called? It's called a drake. An adult female duck is called a hen. They have waterproof feathers. They preen themselves and they spread the oils on their feathers, and that's how they can float in the water. Nests are made out of mother's down feathers, grasses, mud, leaves, and twigs. So one of the activities we did a while back was we took an old body pillow and we took the stuffing out of it, and the kids went around the yard and gathered twigs and leaves and vines, and they made their own giant duck's nest. And they had their friends over, and so we had about 7 kids or so in that giant duck's nest. This week's snack included oatmeal cookies made by Juliana, and we chose oatmeal cookies because oats were included in the tale of Jemima Puddle Duck. We also had crackers and cheese and turkey slices. We had some tea, of course. Now don't forget your notebooks. Keep adding to your notebooks so every page has something interesting to look at and to read. And remember, there are the literary device baskets. So if you don't have those, let me know and I'll send them to you. Just write me at letslearnkidsbookclubs@gmail.com. And also share what you're doing. We'd love to see it. If you're on Instagram or Facebook, you can find us at Let's Learn Kids Book Clubs. Now next week we'll be reading The Tale of the Flopsy Bunnies. Join us live if you're able to, YouTube Live. Our channel is Let's Learn Kids, and we'll read it together, and you never know, there might be some giveaways. You don't want to miss out on those. That's all for now. Thanks so much for joining us for our book club, and we'll see you next week.